Hi, host Eric here, enjoying a fine cup of coffee and a conversation with guest and commenter Romulus Cirone. I got your name
Hello,
right.
everyone.
This is the second video here, and I'll probably just upload these things straight, as I may do with the rest of the Mega Bro that I have, just to fucking crank it out, because otherwise I could spend there forever trying to, make everything perfect, and then I get pissed. So,
Yeah.
we were talking about variety things. We were talking sort of about the experience of ENTP conversations. I've had a few of them, and I find, like, when I'm talking to Scarcer, who I also want to talk to again, I never got that video up there, but he and I did this, like, almost, like, you know that thing when two people are walking and one goes to the right, the other guy goes to the right too, and then they go, oops, and they both go to the left, and then they both go to the right, you know? You know what I'm talking about? That thing? I wish they had a
Yeah.
name for
Oh,
that.
yeah. Sure.
They should have a single word that means that to express that concept, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
reciprocal oopsing, you know? Uh,
Yeah.
so when
Well.
that, you
Maybe
did
in the
that, we did this a lot. We did
yeah.
that, we did that all the fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
You
it's
go.
funny. I was gonna say maybe this or in the outside world, this moving from left to right, trying to dodge the other person is I think other people may call that dancing. I'm not entirely sure, but it
Yeah.
seems similar to that concept.
Well, yeah, I found that he and I would start at the same time, like, and then go, and then we both stop and give space for the other person to go, and then we'd
Yeah.
give enough space where it'd be like, oh, okay, I'll try again, but it would be timed
Yeah. Yeah.
the same timing, right? So I think that that's sort of any showing that its range of timing belt options is within a fairly narrow spectrum of possible range of timing belt options for shit like that. Because
Yeah.
what is that? That's a combination of NE and FE making decisions about that social engagement thing of when to talk, when not to talk, how much space to give, how much silence to leave, that kind of shit.
Well, actually, it's kind of funny. I just thought of an analogy right now that I feel also works. But it's kind of like if you're in school and you're trying to run a relay race, and like someone is going ahead of you, and you're like kind of like right at the start line, and you're just like kind of like shuffling back and forth, like just ready. You're just ready to move, but you got to wait for the person who's finishing their part of the race to finish, and then as soon as as soon as they cross that line, you're moving. Like it just kind of has that sort of feeling where you're like, oh yeah, I'm ready. Let me get in it. Let me get in it. And then, and then they cross the finish line, and you just go.
Two ENTPs talking, the conversation is the only way that it has sort of lasting, meaningful impact besides just the general silly entertainment of the two ENTPs involved. It is best served as a piece of media, because we're probably most happy, like, not just presenting our ideas to each other, but thinking, and these ideas go out to some audience, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. For
There's
sure.
another thing they said on this, like, negative page that I'm talking about was starved for attention. Was one of the things they said on it. And I was like, stop making me not have to be defensive, because then I'm proving it right. Like that shit.
Yeah.
Going through all that
Yeah.
shit.
I definitely struggle with that whole idea of starving for attention, because I can definitely see where it comes from, and I want to say no, that's not what's happening at all. But yeah, I want to say it probably is.
Well, yeah. So, wait, what was that? Where were we going with that? What was I saying? Something.
Well, we were just talking in general about ENTP conversations. I don't really know if you want to continue on with that, or you want to just discuss maybe how other relationships feel like talking to them. I mean, I don't really know if you want to explore that or not,
Well,
but I'm
what
just
I
throwing
know
things
what I
out there.
want to do. I want to talk to you about this quadrable thing. This magical quadrable. I want to fucking make a quadrable. Do you know what that is?
Okay. No, I have no idea.
Socionics, or I think it's called the quadruple. Socionics has this thing where they say if you get certain 4 types from the quadrant together in a group, that the 4 people will all experience a feeling of elation simply by being in the company of the other 3. If you just have them as a foursome hanging out, right? And it says specifically the quadruple. Let me look it up here. Socionics. I'm gonna pause this for a second. Okay, so the quadruple. Our quadruple includes 1 ENTP. They're gonna use MBTI types. 1 ISFJ. 1 ISFJ. Okay. 1 ESFJ. And 1 INTP. So if you get together an ENTP and INTP, an ISFJ and an ESFJ, you put those 4 people around a square table and have them hang out together. According to Socionics, they're going to experience a strong feeling of elation. So
that does sound bucket list worthy.
I've got to get a fucking quadruple together. I have to experience this elation right now. I want an ESTJ. I want 2 quadruples going concurrently on this meeting.
Yeah.
So we need to get 2 of each of those other people. We need to get 2 ISFJs, 2 ESFJs, and 2 INTPs on this conversation.
It sounds like it could be some really, really exotic, strange kind of fetish show, like quadruple on quadruple action. Like,
if I could follow through with a plan, I would definitely do this. I was talking to famous people. I'd say, okay, I'm going to put together each of the 4 possible quadruples. I want to act. If I'm not a part of it, I'm only part of one of them. If I'm not a part of it, I'm just going to watch the other quadruple go at it and watch the elation that they experience. I'll do like color commentary in the background. I'll be, oh, look at that. Well, you can do color commentary. I'll do play-by-play, okay? I'll be like, oh, you can see the elation rising right here. Yep, Bob's experiencing it. See that smile? You see that there? Do you see that, Romulus? See that smile?
It appears as though all members of the quadruple have now died from over-elation. Like,
no, it was just a coma. They've risen. They're still smiling. Good news. The dangers of quadruple meddling. Don't meddle in quadruples lightly.
See, and one of the things that I think of is that, we're having a very entertaining time with this conversation, but, I only wonder sometimes, like, how other types would look at this and be like, you know what? Those guys are crazy. Like, I have no idea what they're talking about. Like, we think we're being clever. We think we're bringing a lot to the table right now. But then other people are going to be like, you know what? They're just, like, really not making sense. Like, this whole quadruple thing just is, like, not my cup of tea. Like, keep that quadruple.
Okay. I don't think people are going to react to it with a sense of, like, well, what are they talking about? I think it's more along the lines of, there are certain types who are not going to get our sense of humor or agree with it, right? I've experienced this plenty, where shit that I think's hilarious, somebody else just thinks is not. They don't even know why I would think that's funny. That I've experienced plenty. The other thing that happens sometimes is some people take the shit that we think, like I talk about these personality shit all the time, and yet I'm perfectly comfortable laughing at its absurdity sometimes, and also perfectly open to having a quadruple and be like, oh my god, I was actually elated. It was elation.
Yeah.
It was elative.
Yeah. Hey, and actually, you know what? Just to go back to what you were saying before about, like, behind the scenes, there's actually a cold and calculated mind. Like deep down, there's that part of us that's like, we must experience this quadruple and evaluate feelings of elation and see if they measure up to this socionics description of it. Like, it's kind of like we must thoroughly experience and enjoy this quadruple experience.
Well, look. See, here's the thing. I identify with the cold logical thing, fine, but I find it comes after. It comes later it comes later as a framing that causes me to either adjust what I'm doing to be more useful, or to frame it so that I see it more positively and possibly make it more useful by framing it as more useful. Because to frame it as more useful, I have to come up with more uses for it, right?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's kind of like, you run into it with excitement, and it's pretty much just all based on having fun. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you're like, all right, okay, we got that quadruple thing down. How do we, like, what can we take out of that? How elated were we? What can we take from these feelings of elation? Can we learn anything from it? Like, I really feel like that's probably how things go.
And from a more pragmatic standpoint, from my perspective, it's like, oh, this quadruple idea is hilarious. Oh, you know what? I bet there's not a bunch of other videos about this. If I could actually put these quadruples together, this might be videos that would get a decent amount of views. Because my whole approach is based on lots of videos, not lots of views per video. Because I from what I can tell, I have unusually low view numbers for the number of videos I have, for the number of subscribers I have in general. So I think my audience is fairly narrow, which is understandable because I've experienced that in life too. My audience, meaning people who are willing to like me, is a reasonably narrow scope of people there. So
I definitely agree with that. And actually, one of the things I wanted to say, I don't really want to know if you want to get into like an analytics sort of a conversation, because at least from my outsider perspective, I did have a lot of thoughts on your YouTube channel and how I feel that it works. I don't know if you want to get into that now.
Yeah, I want to get into that right now. That's my favorite topic of conversation.
Okay, all right. Well, because I made the comment earlier, and you posted a video response to it about you not getting the views that you deserve, and multiple people have told you that. And I want to say that, or at least from my outsider's perspective, one of the things that I think about it is that, I'm just taking it from the standpoint of me being a power YouTube watcher, if you want to call it that. Like, I haven't really posted any videos up on my own. Like, it's something that I want to try to get into, but time and passion just really hasn't, taken me to that place yet. But as far as watching YouTube, oh yeah, I'll follow that rabbit hole as far as I can go. And in response to your channel, obviously being an ENTP, I'm going to look up ENTP stuff as the day is long. So it usually started out with me, typing up into the address bar ENTP and just seeing what came up. And I would imagine a lot of the answers
keywords, right? They start adding keywords: ENTP this, ENTP that, ENTP this and that.
Yeah. And so I figure you probably would see a lot of the same stuff that I would. For example, if you just look up ENTP, and I want to test this too and see if it's accurate or if it kind of has already catered to my preferences. But is the top video that comes up for you Michael Pierce? Do you know that YouTuber?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know I can't say for sure if it's the top video. It depends which additional keywords I add, I guess. I don't really sit there. See, nowadays I don't watch much.
Look for it specifically.
Well, I don't watch much. I read a lot. I Google stuff. I read. Yeah. I don't watch stuff because primarily it's mostly because I'm in full blast making mode, and that means there's multiple reasons why I'd rather not watch stuff almost.
So, well, anyway, just to get back to the topic at hand, I mean, you also said it yourself. You know, usually when you search things, you are going to type ENTP and then add another keyword, like whatever it is of your topic of interest, like ENTPs and love, or ENTPs and this, and you'll just see what comes up and explore it if you want. Now, what the way I stumbled across your channel was that I was doing my typical ENTP searching, and I had exhausted the top hits. I had literally just like pilfered through everything that the general ENTP search would pull up. So, and I didn't really want to add keywords because I wanted to look for, I wanted to find something new. I didn't really know what I was looking for, but I wanted to try, let's go off the beaten path here. Let's really like find something. So, I changed the search parameters to not be like all time, but to be posted in the last week or posted in the last month or whatever it was. And so when I put up ENTP in the last week, I generally tend to get things from you just because you post like on a daily basis, as well as So Malicious. She also tended to come up a lot as far as ENTP content on a weekly basis. So anyway, the reason I bring all that up is that I feel like it's really your search parameters that kind of make the optimization here. Like, I mean, if you look at what most of the top hits as far as Myers-Briggs stuff is, it's a very general titling. It'll be like ENTPs and this. It's very bland. It's very boring most of the time. But I don't know if you would want to, because all of your titles are usually very creative and specific. I mean, you have a lot of fun coming up with them, I would imagine. Like, I don't know if you want to vary that up, but I think as far as just, your casual YouTuber who's just jumping online and, they're done looking up cat videos and they want to find some, Myers-Briggs stuff, they're going to be looking up specific stuff. And I don't think that a lot of your videos are going to just pop up unless they really want to dive into the rabbit hole deep. So I think the only people that you're really looking at as far as viewers are the type of people who are really trying to like expand their like they're trying to go down deep.
Well, here's the thing. I think you're probably right, and I'm certainly not above trying other titling strategies. I have tried different titling strategies. The thing is, my original plan involved specifically trying to have titles with lots of different stuff in them and talk about the honest titles, right? Like, I honestly talked about, I don't know, God damn fucking dogs. Hold on a second. Lacey's freaking out. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if that was a good idea or not. I've got a couple of little theories in play here, which is one that I'm maybe potential. I don't know if this is the case or not. It's just a one possible idea is that in the best case scenario, this strategy is producing the right kind of curve, I guess, which is like this. Hopefully, would be ideal. I don't know if that's going to actually happen. Yeah. But the other possibility is that my theory from the outset was completely wrong. That happening to talk about some random weird thing like peacocks, like I have this video recently uploaded called Lady Peahen and the Pea Chickens. So, I mean, if somebody did Google my theory is, well, some of my Google peahens, I tag it accordingly as well. So I tagged it peacocks. I tagged it Arcadia, California, where there's a lot of peacocks, near where I live. I tagged it like shit like that, right? Now, does that work? Does then somebody searching peacocks end up listening to my weird song about about peacocks? Probably not.
Yeah.
But that's my
See, I
theory.
have no idea. I mean, it's kind of funny because analytics is a pretty fun thing to play around with. But I mean, because for the most part, it's pretty hit or miss. like, like the best you can do is just keep trying and just I mean it's something that we as ENTPs would be good at. It's just keep trying different things and then notice the patterns when things kind of like tend to get big or when things tend to not really get any views at all.
Right. Well,
So
I know that stuff that's like completely just random little topics of my interest, those don't typically get any views or very few. So, if I like, but there's some tricks. I found a trick the other day. I made a video. I don't know if you watched it or not, but I made a video about an old abandoned trailer park. I just stopped by and sort of looked over the wall and just said nothing for a couple of minutes, right? But I'm a member of this group called Old School Arcadia. It's a closed group on Facebook. It has 3,000 some odd members. And so I'm like, oh, what the hell? Maybe the group would be interested in this. I didn't make it with that purpose in mind. See, this is the cold, hard mind thing, right? That was not even remotely on my mind when I made that fucking video. But then I started thinking, well, how can I make this more useful to myself? And I put it on there, and it had like 300 views in a day or something, which is insane. Yeah, which is insane for me.
yeah.
And in fact, everybody in the Arcadia group was very interested in it, and it was just nothing but banal crap. But I mean, I don't think the video was all banal crap. I'm saying the whole tone of it was that's what I'm saying. It appealed to people in that group because that's what one goes to that group for, including me. It's like when I want to go to that group, I want to see some pictures of Old School Arcade that remind me of my childhood, and I go, oh, that's cool. I remember I joined in those little comments. I put things like, mostly I joined in to sort of play that role of normal person, right? I'll put that comment down and say like, yeah, I remember I lived not that far from there, and I went down to that place too. This is the kind of comments that the whole fucking group is filled with that, So that, I don't know what the fuck I was going with that. I have no idea where I was going with that. Just rambling on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can pick something up from there. I mean, it seems like for the most part, your views would somewhat correlate to how relatable they can be. Would you say that that's an accurate metric? Like with that one, you got a lot of views because you were able to reach like a larger, or you were able to relate to a lot of people. Like with the peahens, I mean, you're pretty much straight up looking for people who randomly one day go on YouTube and they're going to look up peahens for whatever weird, nefarious purposes. They're going to be doing that. Like,
so well, it's possible the other possible way somebody might encounter is if they were to click the the music playlist, the all music playlist. It's the only other place they get to it at, because it's not on any sort of like, it's not near the top of anything, right? It's just one of the random little sort of sandwich songs, I call them, that make it up there, and so it's easily lost in the fray for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, just wanted to jump on that. I didn't really want to go that in depth with that through a comment or something.
I like analytic talk though. I'm not. That's how we roll, right? We kind of just roll off the topic sometimes.
Yeah. So anyway, I did want to get into that because it was something that I was thinking about too, where I was like, hey, just because I'm not going to know if you want to discuss like publicly like your YouTube strategies. Like, I have no idea. So I was like, over a video, maybe we might be able to discuss that, and I could share some of my thoughts about it in a situation where you feel comfortable, rather than posting up a comment to you unsolicited and then having you be like, hey, well, no, I obviously don't think you would be thinking that, but I felt like, getting your side of the input without having to wait for, like, you to reply would be a much more, beneficial way of handling that than just, like, these are my thoughts, host Eric. And then you chiming in maybe 20, 30 minutes later when, as an ENTP, I probably already commented 3 additional times since my first post.
Right,
and then
yeah.
you haven't even read them yet because you've been replying. And then it's just
Right.
completely like irrelevant by the time you answer.
That thing you just described is textbook.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. I've gone through it a lot, so it's like I'm already ready to jump right back in, and then I'll see a notification that my other conversation partner commented, and I'm like, man, I'm really like knee deep into this convo. Like I gotta keep going. Like, but maybe they said something that like is really relevant, and it's like, but I gotta finish this up. I'll read it in a second, and then before you know it, I've replied like 2 or 3 times to their one, and then most of my stuff ends up being completely irrelevant to the topic at hand. Like they completely just like, they. It's just funny.
Well, you know what you needed to do? You needed to gather them together into quadrables. That's
true.
the only way. From now on, this is going to be my solution to all problems. I'm going to run for president, and my campaign is going to be called the quadrable campaign. And all of its planks will be quadrable related. We'll use government force to threaten violence against people if they don't form quadrables. Until the entire country is so elated, that we just win. We win global politics forever.
But and also, much like ENTP fashion, it sounds very wonderful on paper, but we're gonna miss a lot of the details where like a lot of the types aren't accurately represented like proportion wise. So like you're gonna get a whole bunch of people out there who are like, yeah, like I got no quadrable members. Like here, everyone else is feeling so elated, but like there's not enough ENTPs to go around for me to be part of a quadrable. And then you end up having social classes based on like, oh, and this is a non-quadrable.
We're just a lot more busy. We just get more hours of quadrable time a day. We just have to be parts of multiple quadrables. We just stay in one place. We don't need to be the ones who move. We get sit in our throne, and 3 people come and sit next to us in succession, right? So we get the abundant types. They're gathering outside a big group. They gotta wait, but we just sit there and bask in the elation all day. It's a great system.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, and honestly, not only that, but I think a lot of our problems could be solved from quadraples. In fact, who's to say that the reason that we haven't figured out the meaning of life is because a quadrable hasn't sat around and talked about it.
I think better than that, though. I think more likely to be true than that is that the meaning of life is the quadrable. We just figured, you and I just figured it out after all this time.
Yeah, exactly.
All it took was 2 NTPs sitting down talking it out, and we got the answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, next time someone asks you, that's the answer. Quadrable. Yeah, so, what's the meaning of life? Quadrable.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we've really got to get this quadrable thing going. I mean, I have no idea where I can find, these types. I don't even remember what they are. I'm going to have to look up quadrable again to find out what types.
ISFJ. These are MBTI types again. ISFJ, ESFJ. So the SFJs, INE, and the NTPs, INE. SFJ, SFJs and SFJs and NTPs.
Well, I think I've got 2 of those. So I've got 3 of the 4. I'll have to find an ESFJ, I think.
All right, dude, look. Do this in person in your life. Put these 4 people together, film it, and then send me the video. I'll put it on Talking with Famous People, and then like you and I we can do. Okay, look. Put it up and then we can sort of watch it for a while, and then all come in with like director's narration type stuff, but I'm not the director of it, right? And then you come in a little while later with meta director's narration. And so, so we have the audio of the actual video going, then my audio of explaining what's happening in the video that people are currently watching, then your audio of you critiquing my explanation of what's going on in the video.
Yeah, I can be like, well, from first-hand experience from the travel, host Eric believed witnessing elation. But what was actually happening at that time was actually more
while
of
you're saying that, I'm going, there, that's elation. That's elation.
yeah. Oh, yeah, it sounds great. Yeah.
Okay. So look, who knows if this plan will ever come to fruition, but I officially designate this Plan Quadruple A. Okay? This is I'm sure there could be multiple quadruple plans, so I better just give it an A right now, okay? Plan Quadruple A. That's what this plan is called. And the plan consists of two parts. You get a quadruple together and film it, and then B, all that shit I just said.
See, okay, all right, and being another ENTP, I see what you just did there, which is you just came up with the brilliant plan, and then you left me to do all the work.
No, then I named the plan. No, I named the plan. I have to do all the fucking hard work, dude. You gotta film yourself talking to 3 other people for 15 minutes. That's easy.
Yeah,
I'm doing that right now.
I get to have a yeah. No, I'm just messing with you. I'm just saying. I think it's funny because I see that in practice now, how people could get that, where you're like, hey, dude, you just really just outlined everything, but you aren't really contributing as much as everybody else here. And I'm like, yes, I am.
What do you mean not contributing as much? I just contributed the only important thing. The concepts. The vague, undetailed concepts. That's what you need most.
This wouldn't even exist if I weren't sitting here. And you're going to tell me that I didn't do anything?
I just expressed this vagary so well.
Yeah.
How can you not be completely sold on it? I just said all the right words. Come on.
Yeah.
I painted that turd as perfectly as I could possibly paint it. So eat it now. What's the problem?
Oh, man.
Look, dude, I gotta bail. Anyway. I have to go because I gotta be at work at 9. I still haven't taken a shower. It's 20 minutes till 9. So
okay, yeah. I was even gonna say I figured it was getting a little bit crazy.
A little tired.
But that was fun.
Yeah, it was super fun, man. I'll talk to you later. And these videos go up as soon as I get them up.
Okay, all right, sounds good. I'll keep a lookout.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Later.